Okay, for our project this week, we are creating a tree branch, and on that tree branch, we're going to make an ornament. So we're going to start with the branch first. All I'm going to do is build my branch, whatever size of branch I'd like it to be, with the brown pastel. I'm going to take my green, darker green pastel first and build the pine needles going this way on my branch, and the same again going the opposite way. I'm going to take the light green, layer that into it as well. Light green's just adding a little bit of highlight to this picture, and then some black to add some shadow. If you notice, I'm not making the black as wide as I made the green, and I'm just adding it at the very start of your line. Like so. Okay, so now I have my branch. I need to draw my ornament. So you'll see in the example that I show you that there's a couple different shapes of ornaments that you could draw, and I'm just going to make one. You can make multiple if you'd like to, but for now I am just going to create one. I'm going to make the one that's kind of like a teardrop shape. So first we have a connection with a hook. That's how an ornament would be. You'd have a hook that goes on the tree, and then the top of it is always like a square rectangle shape. I know I want the bottom to be here, so I'm going to make a dot at the bottom where I want it to go. And I know I want it to be a shape that kind of curves around and meets at that point down here. Same thing on this side. Curves around and meets at the point down here. You could just make a round ornament. You can make a different shaped one if you have an idea in mind. So first I'm starting with the outline. I'm going to create some kind of Christmas silhouette inside. A silhouette is a black outline. So I'm going to make for mine, I made an angel. Again, it's a silhouette, so we're not having to do all the details inside of here. I'm just making the outline. Then I'm going to break the rest of the ornament up into sections or pieces like stained glass would be. So now the rest of my ornament is by little sections. Next, I'm going to outline this with my permanent marker. I'm going to color inside my silhouette with permanent marker as well. So I colored inside my image with my black marker to make a silhouette. I'm tracing all the rest of my lines. And when I've completed this, I'm using my watercolor paints to paint my ornament, as well as I will be painting a background to go with this image. We're painting this with watercolor. I'm using like a brush like we use at school where the water's in the handle, but you obviously can use a brush with just water, and you need to use your watercolor paints from school. I'm going to paint different parts of the stained glass, but I don't want to paint right next to this one, because if I do, then they will just bleed together. So I'm going to choose another section of my ornament to paint while that one is drying. And I will continue to hop around on this. And you can make value to your ornament by adding a little bit darker edges on some of these little pieces of glass. That's what it would be, right? If it was actually stained glass, it would be little pieces of glass. Once I've done painting this, I'm going to paint my background. So I could use my white pastel and give, like, you know, dots in the sky to make snow. I mean, I know the tree would normally be indoors, or you could make it look like there are lights on the tree lighting up around it. You can make more branches. However you'd like to create your background is fine. Any of that stuff will work. And then I'm just going to paint color around the rest of my picture, like so, with my watercolor. The whole page should be completely filled.